Welcome to Story Time
with Building Ace Legacy.
So, as you can tell by our little intro there, we are doing a story time to discuss how we became about going to Africa. I had started a new job and I met Wanda Amechi. And she and her husband introduced me to a gentleman. And we started talking. Before that happened, my daughter and I were supposed to go to South Africa to see Aflu Cow, right? That's his name. Yeah. A pastor in South Africa, who has a church, obviously. So we were planning to go there. And then we got introduced. I got introduced to a gentleman. And now I kind of want to split the trip to see the gentleman and go see Africa. What was it? Okay.
Yes, I met guy number one, and for my 28th birthday, we were planning the trip to go to Nigeria.
So as we're planning our travel, things with guy number one for me didn't work out. Ultimately, I did meet another gentleman, and he actually helped me plan a birthday party for Lacey's 28th birthday in Africa. It was not a lot of planning, but we picked out a cake and a restaurant for the food, that kind of stuff. Which brings us to planning for travel. We got our passports. Well, she got her passport, and I was upset because I had to go get a new birth certificate because my birth certificate didn't have my parents on it. So I had to go get a new one with my parents on it in order to get a passport. I sent it off. Mine was probably like a week and a half behind hers. But I was upset, like it's not gonna come in time. So I was really upset about that. But it panned out. We had to see a travel doctor.
For the area in Nigeria we were going to see what shots were required and that we had to get. In order to apply for our Nigerian visas, we had to have our travel itinerary together. We had to have the flights already booked, coming and going. We also had to have the address to where we were staying at, all to apply for our Nigerian visa.
Yes. Which was a whole nother process. We had to go to New York for our visas, and we had no clue about anything. We had to leave our passports, and our visas were not coming back until the day before we traveled. So we ended up going to New York and picking up our visas, like at close of business. They were coming back with the visas. The car broke down. Which it was the battery. But ultimately, so someone came, we had roadside service, so someone came and told us. We went to the hotel because we did book a hotel to spend the night in New York, since that's where we were leaving from. And it was just so touch and go for everything. It was just touch and go. And then we were on our way to Turkish Airlines at JFK.
Yeah, so at the time of travel, guy number one and I were no longer, I mean, we were talking some, but we weren't fully on. Things got rocky, and we weren't on good terms by the time that the trip was happening.
Yeah, she actually wanted to cancel the trip. Because they weren't talking. She fasted and prayed, and
it just didn't. It wasn't working out.
Which is understandable, but that doesn't mean that we don't get to travel because it's not working out. A whole nother country. A lot of people don't travel outside of the country. Excuse me. So when we landed, it was like 9 p.m. when we got over there their time. Excuse me again. So guy number 2 for me was at the airport with a friend of his and a relative of his also. The friend was the driver, Mr. Ronson. Thank you for joining Building Ace Legacy. Welcome to Story Time
with Building Ace Legacy.
We're starting out with.
Hold on.
We planned.
Yes.
Welcome to Story Time with Building Ace Legacy. Yes.